Welcome to the Three Technoteers. I'm Steven and I'm joined by Tony and Chilton. And yeah, so we talked last week about how scientists used human brain cells, like in a petri dish, basically, to play Doom. So found another set of scientists that had used some human brain cells in a petri dish or something, to control a robot, like an actual physical robot. So like the wow, like I mean, obviously like there could be some bad outcomes of that, but it's super cool. Like that's really cool. Like the possibilities, because like you don't want to make an actual whole brain that has feelings and all that kind of stuff. All you want is the ability to use logic. And so, throw a few million neurons in a petri dish and connect them to some wires, and bam, you have a logic circuit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the concept that everybody's chasing, it's all about speed, right? Because like right
Hmm.
now, our brain process is way fast. And right now we're also in the supercomputer era, right? So Google with their major one that they did, and that kind of everybody notices that was on the internet and touch subject on. But yeah, I think a lot of these organic cells and a lot of the organic chips that are going to be made here, I think we're going to start seeing that a lot more.
Yeah,
Um,
I could definitely see that be like the next evolution of the whole AI craze is it becoming actual intelligence, like from living cells, and they just that actually becomes the LLM itself. It's
Oh,
possible.
that's interesting.
It's
Sure.
totally
Now,
possible. Like,
what's crazy to think about, hold on, theoretically, right, is if at one point they come out with like Samsung's new improved AI, I'm just gonna say what was another Cortana or something, right?
yeah.
So it's like, oh, your personal Cortana, and it's like, oh, perfect. But what if it's to a point where like it's such organic matter and that the AI realizes that, but at the same time it becomes coherent to where it's like, oh, I need a new phone, and then like it wakes you up at like 2 in the morning. It's like, don't get rid of me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
don't destroy me. Don't turn me off.
Well, but
And you
but what
literally,
would what would its motivation be for not wanting to be destroyed though? Because it's not, like
I mean, true,
if it's just solely the whole time the cells have been alive, if they have only ever learned just some basic how to, like send a signal to this circuit versus this circuit to make the robot go left versus right. If that's
yeah.
literally all they know, they wouldn't even understand the concept of not even existing anymore. So,
But
you
at
know,
some point, someone's gonna cross that over where they're
at
gonna go,
some point they
oh,
will
let's
get
throw
smart
this
enough. Yeah.
open. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
what would it do if we just threw open AI into it? And it's like, oh, I am real. Don't destroy me.
No, but that it would be
Johnny
really
Five,
crazy. Like, yeah, no, dude, like it really would be crazy having an LLM that's like a hybrid between normal LLM that runs on a computer and a bunch of human brain cells, like in a
Yeah.
damn petri dish, like and interconnected and synergized all nicely together so they function properly. But man,
So I
that'd be
guess my other question
crazy.
would be is where
Be
do
able
you
to
think their
learn things
source?
instantly instead of having to like go through retraining and
Oh
whatnot,
yeah.
like it would just
Yeah.
learn
No
on the
more
fly.
no more buffering. No
Yeah,
more buffering.
yeah,
It's the search is now. Like
yeah,
there's no more buffering,
yeah.
you know? But the other question is like where are they getting the organic material, right? So
It's from
like
stem cells.
so
They're
they're
just
actually doing it from stem cells.
yeah, they just grow from stem cells.
Human.
But
Okay, sure. All
but
right.
I mean nowadays, dude, you can get stem cells just from like scraping the inside of your gum
Yeah.
and
They're
whatnot.
they're
Like it's
finding yeah, they are
super easy to
finding
get them
unique ways
now.
now.
Yeah.
There was
So
a
Yeah.
there was a fetus. I think it was from the 1970s that they harvested a bunch of cells from that they've reproduced in labs over and over, and they use it for
huh,
everything from human testing, like antiperspirants to tastes. They basically just wire up these cells. My understanding is they wire up the cells somehow to a machine, and they're able to run fluids over it or something like that and see how the cells react, and that predicts how a human skin would react to it, or human taste buds would react,
Yeah,
or something like that. And
that's
Okay.
as a
cool.
result, there were a lot of conspiracy theories a few years ago about how uh, every soft drink on the planet is made with aborted fetuses, which was not true, but kinda. It's like it was not made with them, but technically with them. There was this
Yeah.
one fetus that
Yeah.
has millions of
I
uses.
mean, might as well use the tools at your disposal. Like
You
if
already got them. You
Yeah,
yeah,
already got them.
yeah.
yeah,
Don't let them go
like
to waste.
yeah.
Well,
I will just throw them away. I
there was
mean,
a there was an article about a guy that his dog was dying of cancer. I don't know if you guys see this one. This engineer that
Mm-mm. Hey, Chilton, real quick, what did you do last week when you changed your microphone setting to be super clear?
I don't
did you
know.
change?
Oh, I might
Yeah.
have had a physical mic that I was using.
Oh,
This
okay,
isn't a
Yeah.
okay,
I'm
okay.
Yep.
sorry. I'll do that next week. I
No,
left.
yeah, it's all good. I thought it was just like a setting or something. All right.
No,
Anyways,
no.
the
I
guy
think
with the
it's
dog, uh,
yeah,
guy
yeah,
with
yeah.
the
So,
dog.
so this guy, he's a data engineer, I think, and he basically goes, "All right, well, my dog's dying of cancer. There's nothing I can do. Maybe I could cure him with Chat GPT." And so he spent months and about $5,000 on tokens and other stuff, as I understand it, to figure out how to create a genetic thing that he then took to a gene lab. The scientists there looked at it and they were like, "Well, yeah, technically this would work. We'll try it." And they applied it to the dog. I don't know the details of it, but it apparently cured the dog. Um,
Okay.
so that was and he was pointing out he didn't know how to do this, but he knew what questions to ask.
Yeah.
He knew
Yeah.
problem solving, and so he knew that well enough. So he knew what he didn't know.
That's one of the points I try to get across to people, like when they're not having good luck with using Chat GPT and other AIs and stuff. It's like it literally is all in how you talk to it. Because it's like making a wish with a genie or something. Like you have to word it precisely, or
Hmm.
it's gonna give you like, yeah, it's gonna give you exactly what you asked for. So like, make sure you ask for the correct thing, you know?
Yeah,
Yep.
for
So,
sure. Yeah, that kind of throws back to there was a guy who was using, he's a dog breeder, right? And this is few years ago, and he was using CRISPR, and he was trying to make a glow in the dark dog. Uh, and the thing that he was at the end of this episode, because it was like a 45-minute episode talking about CRISPR and how they're using it and all that stuff, because you can just get it at at home kit. And he turns around and he ends up at the end of the episode showing that he is getting the correct sperm cells, but they're non-fertile. So
uh,
they're DOA. So it's like, oh man, but that was the end of the episode. It's like, and he's doing this
Oh,
in his backyard. Like like he's just doing this in his backyard, breeding these dogs.
that's
And it's
crazy.
like, holy shit, that's crazy.
That's
all right. So
wild.
so I've got this one Facebook friend who's uh, an excellent stage magician, and he's a genetics something. He does a lot of work with genetics, and he posted these photos the other day. And if I can find one, it'll be right here on the screen because Stephen will edit it in. Um, this is it's a mice that they use in the lab. They've come up with a way to um, basically make the mice glow under UV light so that they're bright blue. They have one gene
Ooh.
that triggers this bright blue light. So they hit it with a bright UV light, and you can see the difference between a regular mouse
Is
and
there
these.
any like reason they're doing this or
Yes,
just
yes, there
okay,
is. It's a hell of a good one too. And that
okay.
was the thing. When I saw that, I thought, well, that's cool. Now I want to glow in the dark, rat. But then I was like, well, I don't know what's the point of this.
Yeah.
And then he explained it's because when they're doing testing and they have a whole ton of mice. When they do CRISPR testing or any kind of gene splicing, they don't know which ones took the genetic change took for. So there's no way to know. And so
Huh.
you have to just kind of go, you have to test every one of them, test the genetics, test the whatever it is and for every one of these mice. And then basically, did it work? Did it not work? Did it even take to begin with? Well, this allows them to just replace that gene with the thing they're trying to basically inject into the mouse. And so
Oh,
they show the UV light on it. The ones that are bright blue, it didn't work. And
wow.
the ones that are they're not bright blue, they all got the genetic change, and so they just have to test those.
So wait, they can just put the neon glow in the dark blue gene anywhere in the genes or something?
Well, no, yeah. So apparently, what they've done, I am bastardizing his very well written thing, but basically they've genetically created a race of these blue mice, right? So anytime they have offspring, they're all going to be blue.
Yeah.
But when they go to replace this one protein, they can replace that one, and that will, and if so, they see if it's not blue, if the rat doesn't glow, he's got the genetic, the thing worked on him.
Man, that's
Yeah, I
wild.
don't know the details of it. It's above my pay grade kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Genetics is definitely something I'd like to get into a little bit. But more for plants though, because I'm wanting to start growing a lot of my own food and whatnot. And I mean, I'll totally go Monsanto all on it if I can grow like the biggest damn tomatoes in the world and like all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like I'm totally down for that. Like,
I did some long before all this stuff, the fancy genetic stuff, the old school way of grafting stuff, where you take two different plants
mm,
trees and you cut the branch off one, put it on another one,
yeah.
and it grows. And so I made these apple pears that were freaking awesome.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, it blows me away that that's even possible.
Now, did the taste kind of transfer
Yeah.
over at
Oh
all?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
cool.
The fruit was not apple and not pear.
Huh. That's see, I thought with the grafting it would just grow the separate things instead of uh
It was like a hybrid. It was weird tasting.
weird. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like the grapples, right? They hybrided two together and they did it's an apple that tastes like a grape.
What, dude?
Yeah.
Man,
And they did it. Go
I
ahead.
had these grapes one time that straight up tasted. It was like not, dude. They tasted like candy, like not like
Yeah, they're
grapes at all, but they literally
cotton
tasted like
candy.
can. Yeah, the cotton candy
Yeah.
grapes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was, dude. That was
Yeah.
like the craziest. I've had them a couple times, and one of the times they didn't really have that flavor as much. They tasted more just like grapes, but the other two times it was the most wild thing in the world. Like it's straight up like you're eating candy.
Yeah.
Definitely the greatest fruit ever created. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the genetic stuff is just that's a whole crazy ballpark deal, and looking at that. And that's one thing that like I always wanted to look into that too myself. A lot of it is just because of with my son with his genetic disorder, and I just wanted to understand more and get deep into that and how that all works and that kind of
Yeah.
deal. Because like right now with his genetic disorder, there's hemophilia A and B, and the B is much larger gene that they can edit out and stuff. And in 2013, yeah, he was born in 13, and they had just that year they had brought something out into adult trials where it was gene therapy, and it was in the UK, and it was like 16 people, and it actually cured them,
Hmm.
most of them. And then some of them kind of went back, but it wasn't near as bad and severe. And most of them were pretty much cured of hemophilia. So it was really, really cool
That's pretty
to
wild.
see
It,
some of that stuff, you know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the frustrating thing to me is that on the one hand, we're trying to be safe with what we distribute to the world, but on the other hand, it really sucks when you have a friend or a relative who has a disorder and there's a potential cure out there and you're not able to give it to them because of legislation, not just money, but just rules against it. And
Yeah.
it feels
Oh yeah,
unfair.
yeah. Well, it's the same kind of like kind of off subject, but it just made me think of it because it's the same thing with like people, the dream is to buy land and go build your own house and blah 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 blah. But okay, so you go buy your land. Well, just to even go live on it, like you can't just go take a camper trailer and go out there and live
Mm.
on it. They won't let you. They won't let you. So you got to build a house at the very least, which means you got to pay for septic, electricity, blah 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 blah. And they're not going to let you install all that yourself. So you got to get contractors to install it, and like just it's just a bunch of BS. And like yeah, there's always you can
There's definitely
guarantee.
loopholes. There's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
loopholes to
Now
get
where
around that.
where I live, I have absolutely no restrictions. I don't even have to get a building permit to do anything, So it's
Right.
pretty awesome. But you can guarantee that if there is something good, the government's going to come in and get in the way at some point.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
can guarantee.
definitely.
For sure. Uh kind of hit back on the organic cells and the robotics and stuff like that. So something I wanted to kind of talk about too was Palmer Luckey turned around and now he's at just got signed up for a $20 billion contract for helping government contract, of course.
Oh, the
Uh
Oculus guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So he's bringing in his stuff and the what it's called is actually called Eagle Eye. And so what this is, it's like a multitude. The best way to describe it is like a video game. So like basically they'll have a UAV up and it'll be spotting out everything. AI is integrated into it. So it's seeing all these objects. Every every military person on our side, right, has chips that identify themselves on there. And what's cool is that these new helmets that are integrated into this whole system too is they're able to see. So it's an overlay. It gives you an AR overlay, and they're able to see through objects through using through the UAV. And so what it's able to do is actually see that there's enemies and it highlights them in red
Oh yeah.
behind objects, buildings,
Yeah.
shipping containers, wherever, while your other teammates are kind of going in on one side. So you can see how close they are while you're flanking on the left and they're flanking on the right. And so it's like showing them, plus they have their own, like their name above each person too. So it's literally like taking Battlefield the game or Call of Duty if you want to, and just like making it into real life.
Now,
I really think like,
wasn't there a episode of Black Mirror about that though, where they had the helmets and the
well,
or no, they
well,
had the implants or whatever.
it's the implant
And
deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they had
That's your
them
turning
making
point,
yeah,
right?
they had them thinking they were fighting monsters and stuff, but it was
Monsters,
just
aliens. It was
regular
the alien
people.
invasion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it
and
was
here
just
it was.
regular people though.
It was
Like
poor people. It was
yeah,
like
poor people.
the
Yeah.
poor that they were trying to like clean
Yeah.
out of these areas,
Yeah.
or third world. I don't want to say poor people, right? But third world countries, and they're just
Yeah.
going in thinking that it's this alien invasion, and here it's not. It's
Yeah.
it's
What
these
were they?
people because
Roaches or whatever?
something like that. They look like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's man, like all this stuff is like it's cool and all, but yeah, man, there is definitely gonna be some bad stuff. Always gonna
Yeah.
I
be some
just
bad crap that's gonna happen. Like, not
I
excited.
hope not, I hope not. But I mean, it's going to be inevitable
Yeah.
because, curiosity is what we thrive on, and that's why we are where we are. And so for something like that, it's more of like well, let's do, Operation Paperclip, where you do these kind of things and see how they react and do all this stuff. And,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of deal.
Now it's going to
I'm
be
not referencing
super.
Operation Paperclip, but you know.
Yeah. It's going to be super cool, like having all of that AR kind of stuff for other things, like, man, I can imagine all sorts of jobs where it'd be so helpful having like that overlay to, uh, or like,
I mean, think about this. If you're able to work from home and not necessarily get a haptic feedback suit, but let's say if you were to do that where everything is tracked and you're able to pick up objects or something.
oh yeah, so you could like basically like control a robot from
Yeah,
home or something.
control a
Yeah, yeah,
robot,
yeah,
and then you're like, oh, I finished my shift, and here you are, you're working in New York building a building and with robot A,
yeah,
and your shift is over with, and now, I'm here in Iowa and you're in Oklahoma, and you turn around and you're like, I'm gonna take over robot A, my shift starts, and then
yeah,
here you are.
yeah,
And again, maybe we get to a point where it is that we have to have those Neuralink implants and we don't have to have a haptic feedback suit and we just sit in a chair
yeah,
and we control this robot in New York and we
yeah.
work, you know.
Just sit and get fat.
A little Wally. There's
Yeah.
what movie was that? Bruce Willis, uh, AR robot, because he plays a cop, Surrogates, 2009.
Yeah, very good.
I
That was
don't
The
good.
same
think
concept.
I don't think
So
I've seen that
basically
one.
they lay in these beds where they actually take over. It's like a split world kind of deal. There's like a barrier. So there's organic human life and then there's AR life and robots. And so like you would go and lay in these beds and you would live this life doing that stuff on the other side of this wall. And that was one of the things. He was like a detective cop and he would lay down in these beds and they kind of remind you of what am I thinking of here? I'm trying to think.
Well, it was kind of like this the pool of goo in Battlestar Galactica, right?
Sure,
Just
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it
And
was more like a. I saw it. I didn't like kind of like a vacuum seal kind of form thing, right?
yeah.
Am I thinking of that right? Is that correct? Is that the one that was like kind of sucked onto the sides of your body, like you're laying in?
Yeah. I that sounds vaguely familiar where that's how because the beds kind of remind me of I'm trying to think of the movie where they're intergalactic and they go and they start mining this other planet for that plutonium or something like that. And I think it starts with an A, and
Avatar?
it yeah, Avatar. Yes.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
concept like they go into this thing and it puts them in this body
Oh yeah.
and and that's what it is. And he ends up doing this and all kinds of stuff. Because then like once they get killed in this robot world, all of a sudden they get out of it, they come out of it freaking out, of course, and then turn around. I think he just like jumps right back into another body and comes out this cyborg deal.
Well, you mentioned Palmer Luckey. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I think in 2022, he had a deal where he took a Oculus Quest headset and put explosives in it, and had a game where if you lost in the game and you died, it would detonate the headset, killing the player.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was a real thing, supposedly. Of course, no one died. He didn't let anyone play it, but that was
Sure.
that was the joke. Because like if you play this game and you die, then you will die.
Holy cow.
Like a C4 on the side of your head or something.
That's crazy.
It is.
Someone just getting bored or showing off talent, one or the other.
Yeah.
Depends
Yes.
on how you look at it.
Trying to get that defense contract.
Uh,
Be serious. Yeah. It is weird watching sci-fi that was supposed to be a warning become the goal. Like everyone's like, well, okay, but what if we created a super intelligence? Let's try it.
oh,
Let's
that's
maybe what if
that's what I
we
was like. Hey, hold my beer. Hold on, I got this for a second.
yeah,
Hold
like
my beer.
yeah, but what if we put
You know?
guardrails on? What if we just gave it infinite? What if everyone could just run an AI on their computer and just give it full access to the credit card and the stock market and everything else, and just let it go? And and then you got the guys making Claude, was it Claude, not Claude Code? No, no, it became Molt
Yeah,
Book and
Molt
that whole thing,
book or
right?
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's the basic idea is just let the AI agent have free reign. There are so many people installing that thing that have no clue what they're doing,
Oh
and they're
yeah.
just like, oh, check out my bot. It's
Yeah.
it's running up bills and it's doing stuff online. That's so cool, which is cool, but you know, I guess if you have
Yeah,
the clear cash to blow on it, that's fun. That's an interesting way to do it. But
Yeah.
give it a little bit of time, and okay, Steven knows this. You've already got an AI on your robot that you're building. So think about when did you start that?
Maybe like 2 years ago,
Okay,
something like
two
that.
years. 2 years. Um, in 2 more years, considering the rate, the acceleration of intelligence and everything else these AIs have, and hardware, 2 more years, you could have something on there that's faster and better than what we have commercially available today.
Oh,
And
dude, in 2 more years, it's guaranteed to be like Star Wars droid level of
right,
intelligence, like guaranteed.
yeah,
Like, so yeah.
it's just it's wild, it's fascinating, and so, but if you think, what if I think that the average person is just not ready for the world that is very rapidly just going to slam down on everyone
Oh
because
yeah.
we're going to have these bots everywhere pretty soon.
Yeah, no,
And
yeah,
we're very much about to be in a sci-fi world, like completely sci-fi as
yeah,
far as like compared to the world everyone's used to.
yeah,
Like all having and like what we talked about last week with China is integrating AI into like literally every aspect of their society and they're gonna be the top society for the next century, most likely. So just the AI is about to become another limb of the human civilization, you know? Like
yeah,
yeah.
it's yeah.
There's a what is it, the grading scale, right? Like for intelligent life, like when we go looking at other planets and
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
like other stuff like yeah, is it yeah, I'm trying to see here. Just trying to look it up real quick what the class is called. Type, well, I guess right now they're saying like type 1 through 3, you
Yeah.
know,
We're like a type point 4 or something like that.
something like that. Yeah, we're pretty low on the spectrum there.
Yeah.
But you know what's it's gonna be so crazy is like what I've noticed like here, in Iowa, how much, how much, like a lot of more Microsoft plants and stuff are going up because of the growth of AI and how much that's going for. Like we had a nuclear facility that was going down. They shut it down, the whole 9 yards. And now they're repurposing that facility as a complete liquid cooling setup because that's right, that's how nuclear facilities run.
Yeah.
And so for liquid cooling, they're taking that and now they're making them into these server places, which is going to be
Mhm.
hosting a lot of this AI stuff and a lot of pathways, right? So they're repurposing those to be able to do that. And then now with, I think it was China just did something with their plasma generator and how they've gotten, I think it was like 38 seconds of power, which doesn't seem like much, but it's like from a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, it was only like 3 seconds of power. So
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
like, and now with the growth of AI, it's gonna find those flaws that the human error, it take that out and it's just gonna run that. And then it's gonna be some like Fallout stuff where, oh, here's my home, here's my home generator that it runs off of, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and everybody gets
No,
kind of in the
dude,
craze
and
of money.
it's just a matter of time before everyone's running AI on their own home computer, and
Oh,
all these data centers and stuff are gonna go out of business here in 10, 15 years because they're not gonna be
yeah,
necessary. It's gonna
yeah,
go
they these
back to just hosting websites and stuff, and that's it. Like
sure,
because people, I mean, like you can spend $1,000 on a computer now and be able to run like Mistral 7B at 4-bit quantization, and that's more than smart enough for most people in the world. Like for most people in the world, it's smarter than they need even. So,
sure.
and that's with just $1,000 computer right now. So like yeah, here in like 5 years, there's not going to be a need to use Chat GPT or any of these cloud AIs. You'll be able to just run
Yeah.
just as smart of an AI as you'll need on your own home computer. So,
You know,
um,
like that's one thing
we
that that
go ahead, but we are
yeah,
almost out of time. So,
okay. So, you know, that's one thing that we're going to be, you know, looking at where, you know, like the supercomputers now, like we go back and we're like, look at this supercomputer they
yeah.
built. And it's like, yeah, it's just as good as my home computer now. And it's going to be like that when that quantum computer that Google built, you know, in 15 years. Let's give it that, right? 15 years from now, we'll be like, man, you remember when Google turned around and made that quantum computer? And you're like, oh, it was so cool. And now we're like, yeah, fucking my grandson's got one downstairs in his closet he doesn't use, you know, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be crazy. Like it's just gonna be one of those things we're gonna look back on and go, wow, we're living in the future. Like
Yeah.
literally just we're
Oh
on the
yeah.
brink of all kinds of stuff. And it's gonna be super cool. And hopefully it's for the good and better, you know. So
I think usually good triumphs for the most part, thankfully. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we got to go. So, been a great talk, guys, and thanks for being here, everyone else. We'll
Yep.
see you next week.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.